Good day, sir. I've been asked to show you around the place for your inspection.
Yes? Ah, thank you for the welcome.
Yes, thank you for the welcome, but I must ask you not to use that name. At our uncle's request, my brothers and I have agreed to take on false names in order to hide that we are kindred with the kings. You may call me Via Makil, and if I do not respond to it, keep trying until I do. One day I will no doubt be used to the name, and when that day comes, the war will be over, and there'll be no further need to take it as a precaution. ah, when the siege was still young, a few years back, one of my brothers met with Ontamo. The description he conveyed of him was not kind. He was a fawning little man, more concerned with his own elevation than with the good of the kingdom, he told me. From that day forth, it has amused me to ensure he never gets the ear of my father or my uncle. See how he stews? This siege seems endless, and guests are in short supply. We must find them where we can. Well, I will say that he did deserve such treatment, yes. I like you, my new friend. Let us take a first meal, and then my brothers and I will conduct our inspection. Honestly, there is little need for it. If the alliance is pushed back from its forward encampments, we will have more problems than a well-defended Dingarth would solve. Let me know when you're ready and take a meal and sit with my brothers, my friend. Alright, very well. Youngest of my sons in Mordor, prone to jesting, laughter came easily to him. Yes, I can see what Isildur means.
This siege has lasted for years. It can wait for one meal.
Are you ready? Then let us find my brothers and sit for a time before we conduct the inspection. The siege has gone for many years and can wait the span of one meal, can it not? At any rate, I may well be able to fight better with a full belly. Well, you do have a point with that, and no hobbit would argue with it.
This siege has lasted much longer than anyone expected. Or hoped.
Well, that is quite true. My youngest brother, Valandil, was born in Rivendell, and he remained there with my mother when we returned to Gondor and the war. I have not seen him since we departed, and he was a lad of just 4 years. Why, he must be nearly 11 now. Pox on this everlasting siege! He will be a man grown by the time I see him again. The rest of my brothers have each seen battle during the long years of the siege, and they have acquitted themselves most admirably. Two of them have come with me to Dingarth, and will be happy to meet you. The third will still be at the Black Gate, I expect. hmm Yeah. This way, my friend. My true brothers have taken the name of Ornaher for purposes of secret. Right? My foster brother's name is Tarandil. Hail, my brothers! My friends will be joining me tonight. Alright, and this is Ornahir, the true brother. And this is Tarandil, alright? Good day, sir. My brother told you I am to be called, Ornahir? Very good, very good. He cannot always be trusted with serious matters, for he's prone to jests and flights of fancy, but it is good to find that he's not endangered our well-being, not on this day at least. The siege has dragged on for so many years, it becomes difficult to remember what life was like before we came to be encamped within Mordor. Every semblance of a normal life fades, replaced with the deeds we accomplished in the war. Hearken to this. While our brothers fight in Daggerlad, Mikil and I marched to Imlad Ithil alongside other soldiers of Gondor and fought to drive the orcs from the valley. And yet, if you ask me of my life before the war, I would find myself quite tongue-tied. Now there is only battle. Battle and waiting. To speak true, there is more waiting now than battle. I do not have the stomach for sieges. Well, there is that. My life before the siege seems so distant now. A long way away. And what about you? Tarandil. I guess that must be a real name since he's a foster brother. Ornahur says he cannot remember life before the siege. I know it was years ago, but that still seems a foolish thing to say. I cannot agree with him. Were he my brother by blood, perhaps it would be different, but it is not so. He and the other sons of Isildur are my foster brothers, for the king took me to foster following the arrival to the shores of Middle-earth. But I did not come here to argue with them or with you. I came here to eat, and I suggest we commence that undertaking with no further delay. And seeing that we have a campfire here full of things cooking, I will presume that this is not an indoor fancy meal or anything like that, because welcome to Mordor! There are no hotels here. No inns, yeah. Surely we must be going to stand here all night. Alright, let's sit by the fire. Has there been any news from Meldoran at the Black Gate? Not for some days, but he has always been lax with letter writing. He could have sent a messenger. That would take little effort. Hush, Tarandil. If you seek news, I have some for you. More men have gone missing from the camp. That is nearly a dozen this month alone. Deserters? Why should their courage fail now, if not earlier? I would not think cowardice will lie hidden for so long in this land. Mayhap not. But do you know what Ornahur thinks? Well, do not bandy about, but I think these soldiers were not deserters. I think they might have been abducted. That's ridiculous! Do you think Sauron snuck into the camp and whisked them away? No need for that. He has servants aplenty to do his bidding. If they possessed such stealth, they would simply murder us in our sleep. My wine jug is empty. It needs filling, and if I'm to listen to any more news of this foolishness... He's more cross than usual, I'd say. Yeah. It is nearly his birthday. Oh, I should have mentioned it is our new friend. It slipped my mind. Oh. Tassadir is our foster brother. Tarandir is. He marks his birthday as the day of our father Isildur chose to foster him. Alright, guess that makes sense. Remembering his old life and his old name are painful to him. His family died with Numenor. Father has told us some of his story. But you should not speak to him. Speak of what? To whom? Uh-oh. You lack a woman, Tarandil. Ah, bah! Always you jest at my expense. You have offered to find you a brave woman to marry before the war is ended. And I tell you, I need none. Find them for yourselves first. Oh, Huneric, hundreds later of the Thirda, has a number of daughters. Is the number there 3? See how they make mock of me? Huh! They do not make merry of Meldoran's expense. It seems I am always to be the subject of their taunts. Were I their true brother, you'd probably still be jested at, I have to say. No, Tarandil, that is not it. You are our true brother, fostered or not. Aye, our true brother as much as Melandaran or young Valandil. We do not speak of Meldoran, for for he is the eldest of us. I am older than you two. I was born in Numenor, as neither you were. And yet your birthday is after that. Truly a feat! Let it go, Vermakil. Why don't you tell our new friend what Melandaran told us about the Black Gate? Yes, that is a good idea. While Orather and I proved our worth in Imladithil, our brothers fought at Daggerlad. Despite great losses, the combined force of elves and men pushed on to the Black Gate. From the southern flank, Maldoran beheld the great sealed doors and despaired. But lo! High King Gilgalad and the elves came forth, and he stood ahead of the armies. 2 elves stood beside him. 2 elves. Yes? One was Círdan. The other is named Elrond, I believe. Yeah. Yes, Elrond and Círdan. They stood before the gate, speaking quietly with their king. Then Gilgalad strode forth, and he raised his arms. Suffused with power, he blazed like the light of the stars. From one hand he leapt a storm of wind, from the other roared a pillar of flame. Beneath this combined assault, the Black Gate was rent to splinters and into dust. And so the land of shadows was unveiled at last. Whew. Vamakil exaggerates the story somewhat, but only somewhat. In its broad strokes, that is much as Meldaran conveyed it is to the 2 of us. Likely, it was some feat of elf magic that destroyed the gate. And has Tarandil not affirmed that was the way of it? But who are these new arrivals? Oh, I beg pardon, sirs. Ah, a wounded soldier. I beg that you take no offense, for I do not mean to disturb the noble ones, but the boys of my company were hoping to find out if they knew anything recent of Chabad Boron. Men such as they are can sometimes hear things sooner than the rest of us is all. Do they know what happened to the men and dwarves that went to face the Khazar Baron? Well, and what is the Khazab Baron, the Storm Wraith. We are in the dark about that, my friend. Khazar Baron, the Storm Wraith? A vast easterling horde sworn to Sauron. It may be vast, but it is far away. What of the dwarves and men that went to face it? Has there been no word? Not that I've heard, but fear not. They must return soon and triumphant. Thank you, my lords. One could only... Alright, well, he's talking to the other worried soldiers. Yes. I give you the advice I gave him. Do not despair. If the Rundoth that make up the Khazabaron were to be a threat to us, they would have arrived by now. The Longbeards and the Theuda will defeat the storm of Wraith and return in victory. Their fighting prowess is well known, and their foes cannot match them. It is not the fate of King Durin to be slain by Easterling warriors, and I dare say Huneric Hundred Slayer will need a new epitaph once his victory against the hordes is complete. Fear not. Word must soon arrive of the storm's defeat. It will be any day now, perhaps, in time for Tarandeel's birthday even. Yes! Yes, perhaps it will be. Ah, it is probably time for us to begin the inspection. Let us see if Dingar's defenses remain secure. Yes, let us see. And how is everything, sir?
Dingarth is as prepared as it needs to be.
As much as I would enjoy reporting the defense is insufficient, if only to see Ontamo squirm, I cannot. Dingarth is as prepared as it needs to be. I presume that it's your doing? Of course it is. I have taken a liking to you, my friend. What say you in returning to Adambel with us? You will find the company much more pleasing than here in Dingarth, and I know my brothers will not object. There is one thing, however. You should think of a birthday present to give to Tarandil, and bring it with you when you come to Arendelle. Ask him what he thinks of it, what he wants. Yes, ask him what he wants. Cram, maybe? Who knows? Well, what do you say?
I don't want anything, really.
Yes, actually, if you can get Vamakil to remain silent for even 5 minutes, I would consider that the worthiest of birthday presents.
He's always like this. Tarandil never wants anything.
Yeah, never wants anything. Well, I won't allow him to get away with it this time. He's my foster brother, and he is going to have the finest of birthdays, with the very best presents. What do you think, my new friend? Give me your hand on this, and we will see that it's done. See, Vamakil stands up straight and gives a shout, which causes nearby soldiers to look up in alarm. I got it! Yes! We're going to give my foster brother the only thing he truly wants. We're going to give him an end to this war. Boy, I was sort of thinking along the same lines. Well, boy, we are getting down. Now, how do we achieve this? Yes, let us do, what we can to bring an end to this endless siege. That will make for the very best present, will it not? Like every other good plan, This will take some doing, of course. Go slay some orcs and some wargs and collect the trophies of them. We can deliver these to Tarandil at the encampment of Autumnbell and tell him that they're just the first part of his birthday present. He'll love it, my friend. He truly must. Oh, well, I suppose it could be a bit of a down payment for his present. Let us head out, kill some orcs, and then head for Autumnbell. And looky here, there are wargs all over the place. Well, I'm sure he'll be happy regardless. Whether he likes it as a present or not, he might be happy if there are fewer of these wargs and orcs around. Anyone would be happy to have fewer of those around. Now, let's see if we can find a few more. The thing about these wargs is, if they crouch down, I think they look a lot like these rocks here. They go very well in this land for camouflage. I would never thought that a black warg would be well camouflaged, but apparently here in Mordor, things can go that way. There you go. Now I'll see if I can find more of these. Well, I don't think that's a rock. And now for you. Yeah, wargs all over the place. I would hope that after 7 years, one could bring this to an end. And now, let's find some orcs. And I think I found one right over here. Aha! Gotcha! A Mordor warrior. Well, the more of these that we kill, the fewer we have to face in the future. Now, are there any more of them around? Aha! Yes, there's another one here. And this should make a nice, fine present. Not only for the foster son of the king, but also for everyone that's been stuck here all this time. And there is Autumnbell. I'm sure it'll be difficult to get up here if you're an attacking army or anything like that, but I will presume that there is some path for us. There are also some wargs around here. How does one get up here? Ah! I think I found the road. Now I want to make sure any enemies have as much trouble getting up here as possible. Ah, here we are. Autumnbell. And here's our camp. What will you find here? And what will our friend think about the present? We'll have to find that out in the next episode of A Tale of Two Pine Leaves.